ma'am. Welcome to our presentation. First of all, let me thank you, ma'am, for watching our presentation video. Let me introduce ourselves. My name is Nesi.
My name is Luisa.
And the last but not least, my name is Devi.
Our topic today is the word formation, and the three of us will explain 13 types of word formation.
We've divided our presentation into three parts.
And Nesi will explain back formation, borrowing, prefixes, suffixes, loan words, and new words.
And I'm Luisa. I will explain about acronyms, blending, onomatopoeia, and abbreviation.
And I'm Devi. I will explain clipping words, compounding, conversion, and eponym.
We move to the topic.
First one is acronyms. Acronyms are common word formation processes in which an initialism is pronounced as a word. It is formed from the first letter of each word in a parse and the newly formed letters for a new word, allowing us to communicate more quickly. For example, the word ASAP or SEAP is an initialism for as soon as possible. However, let us see some more other famous examples of acronyms in the below table for the better understanding. HIV is a initialism for human immunodeficiency virus, and next is AIDS is an initialism for acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, and then NASA. NASA is the unfamiliar word, right? So NASA is an initialism for World National Aeronautics and Space Administration. And then next is blending. One of the most popular word formation processes in English is a blending. Blending is a process that involves combining two separate forms to create a single new word. And then, however, blending is typically accomplished by joining the beginning of the word to the end of the other. And in English, blending is a process of combining two words into one simple word. And here are some blending examples. Staycation is a combination word of stay plus vacation, and then the other example is brunch. It's a blend word of a breakfast plus lunch and brunch. And then the next word is formation is onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is a word that sounds like noise it describes. The sound it defines in a real life has a direct influence on the spelling and pronunciation of that word. All onomatopoeia words describe specific sound. Example of onomatopoeia include the word is point, gargle, clap, zap, and pitter-patter. And you can almost hear that point on a spring, the clap of a chalkboard eraser, and the pitter-patter of rain falling, and the pavement like a teeny footstep. When these words are used in a context, including onomatopoeia, word into your writing can help to improve the imaginary of your story or poem. And then the next word formation is abbreviation. An abbreviation is a shortening of words. There are three main ways to do it. It's similar like clipping, acronyms, and blending. And then when we eliminate one or more syllable from a terms, we employ clipping. Additionally, we frequently trim people proper names. For example, ad for advertisement or advert, and lab for laboratory, and mat for Matthew. When the first letter or two or more words are joined in a pattern then created the consonant and vowel sequence present in a word, acronyms are created. For example, acronyms are generally spoken as a word like ASAP, as soon as possible, GIF or GIF, rapid interchange format, initial sound like collection of letters rather than words. Referring to acronyms, FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, pronounced FBI, and DIY, do it yourself, pronounced DIY. Blend are created when portions of two or more words are combined to create a new word. Block, blend of web and log, and model for blend of motor and hotel, and smoke, blend of smoke and folk. Okay, for the next type of word formation will be explained by my friends Devi.
Okay, this is my turn. Clipping words. Another important word formation process is clipping. which reduces or shortens a word without changing its exact meaning. Unlike the back formation process, it keeps the original meaning. The clipping process produces new words such as dumb, disco, demo, cis, scandy, and so on. The word dumb is dominus, disco is discotheque, cis is system, and scandy is Scandinavian. The words are created with the back, which is referred to as the final cut. As a result, your clipping at the end is the most common type of clipping used in the creation of new words. Clipping is divided into 4 types. The first one is back clipping, and the second one is forward clipping, the third one is middle clipping, and the fourth one is complex clipping. Okay, let us see some example in this table. Okay, the first one, the word is advertisement, and if it changed into clipping, it's become ad. Photograph become photo, the telephone become phone, influenza become flu, cable telegram is become cablegram. And the next one is compounding. When we use compounding, we combine 2 or more bases to form a new word. The first item usually identifies a key feature of the second word. The 2 bases back and egg, for example, can be combined to form the compound noun big egg. And the 2 bases post and card can be combined to form the compound noun postcard. All word classes it contain compounds. The following are the most common types of compounds. The example is nouns in here: car park and rock band. And if it's adjectives, it's heartbreaking, sugar-free, and airsick. And if it verbs, oven bake, babysit, chain smoke. And if it adverb, good naturally, and nevertheless. It can be difficult to know where to place hyphens in compound words. It is also difficult to decide whether to separate words, for example, possible, or join the words post box like this. In such cases, a good learner's dictionary is recommended. The next is conversion. A word of one grammatical form converts to another grammatical form without changing its spelling or pronunciation. For example, the term Google began as a noun before the verb. We used to use the term as a noun only or search it on Google. But now we say Google it. Let us look at some conversion examples in the table here. The first one is access. The noun is access, and if it's become to verb, it's to access. And the second noun is Google, and if we change it into verb, it become to Google. Email to email, name to name, host to host. And if the verb become to noun, like this example, to hope become hope, to cover become cover, to increase become increase, and to attack become attack. And the last one is eponym. Eponyms are type of word formed through the word formation process, in which a new word is created from the name of a real or fictitious person. For example, Atlas from Atlas, boycott from Charles C. Boycott, cardigan from James Thomas Bernard's Seven Art of Cardigan, cereal from Ceres, dance from John Duns Scott's, guillotine from Joseph Ignaz Guillotine, jacuzzi from Candido Jacuzzi, Luddite from netlut, malapropism from Miss Malaprop, mesmerize from Franz Anton Mesmer, Mirandize from Ernesto Almiranda, narcissistic from Narcissus, nicotine from Jean Nicot, pasteurization from Louis Pasteur, poinsettia from Noel Roberts Poinsett, praline from Cesar de Choiseul Count Plessis Praslin, sadistic from Marquis de Sade, salmonella from Daniel Elmer Salmo, salmon, that's all from me. Thank you, and the next topic my friend will tell us. There's Nesi.
Okay, let me continue to explain my parts. First, back formation is either the process of creating a new lexeme by removing actual or supposed affixes, or a neologism formed by such a process. Back formation are shortened words created from longer words. Thus, back formation may be viewed as a subtype of clipping. When we remove part of a word, usually something we think is a suffix, and we form words with back formation or occasionally a prefix. When we form verbs from nouns, we frequently do this, like this word, today, and the. And the other example is singular noun P from the order English plural P's. The verb burgle from the other English noun burglar. The verb diagnose from the other English noun diagnosis. Next, borrowing. Borrowing is another word formation process in which a word from one language is directly borrowed into another. Let us look at some English words that have been borrowed from another language, such as, for example, algebra from Arabic, cherub from Hebrew, murder from French, pizza from Italian, and tamale from Spanish. Next, prefixes. Prefixes are letters that humans insert at the start of words to create new words with distinct meanings. Prefixes can, for instance, produce a new word that has a meaning that differs from the word to which they are added. They can also change the meaning of a term or explain connection to time, location, or behavior. Here are the few instances. The word example like this: monorail, monolingual. The prefixes is mono and it means one. Multipurpose, multicultural. Multi means many. Postwar, postgraduate. The prefixes is post means after. And the last, unusual, undemocratic. The prefixes is un means not or opposite to. Next, suffixes. After a word's root or stem, we add suffixes. The primary function of a suffix is to identify the word's class, like noun or adjective. Adding a letter or group of letters to the end of a word to create a new word is known as a suffix. Okay, let me tell you the example, like terrorism, sexism. The suffix ism and dom are used to form nouns. Employer, actor. The suffix er and or are used to form nouns to describe people who do things. And next, widen, simplify. The suffix n and ify are used to form verbs. And next, reasonable and profitable. The suffix able is used to form adjectives. And lastly, unhappily, naturally. The suffix ly is a common suffix used to form adverbs. Okay, the next part is loan words. Words that taken directly from another language are known as loan words. Like sushi, tapas, chapati, and pizza are some modern examples of cuisine terms borrowed from different language. When we utilize loan words, we often don't alter them. However, occasionally, if they are singular countable nouns, we will inflect them, like pizzas and Japanese. In addition, we occasionally pronounce them differently from how they were originally spoken, more like in English terms. I think the loan words is the same thing like borrowing, word formation. And lastly, new words. A few prefixes are often employed to form new words. The prefix "e" is used to generate new terms in contemporary English that have anything to do with the internet or using the internet. Like for example, e-banks, e-cards, e-commerce, e-learning. It is possible for almost any noun to mix with not any other noun to create new noun compounds. For example, computer, virus, carbon footprint, and quality time.
That's all from our video. Thank you for watching. Bye!